y'all doing? Welcome back to another edition of Drive with Dan. Today I'd like to talk about Ecclesiastes 1:9. It simply states, there's nothing new under the sun. The Bible tells us in a couple different ways. One, Ecclesiastes 1:9 saying there's nothing new under the sun. It also says what once was will be again. Meaning the world, life, events, situations, they repeat themselves over time. We can see this very clearly and easily if we look back through history, different events unfolding. We can see this today. And when I talk about this, I get a lot of feedback, a lot of stuff, because people think I'm comparing myself to Jesus, which I am in no way doing that, and I want to make that perfectly clear right here and now. I'm only talking about the situation. When Jesus walked the earth, he spoke out against the church leaders, the leaders of government and country. He spoke out against the norm, against the majority. And, well, we all know the end of that story, what happened to him. Of course, some people did follow him, but the majority did not. But he did start a grassroots movement that we know still lasts today. Today's current, what's the word I'm looking for? In today's society, we have people, especially right now, myself included, speaking out against mainstream church, today's religion, the leaders of the world, the leaders of the church. So, in a sense, the situation is the same. We're doing the same thing that Jesus did. We're talking against the leaders, against what's normal, speaking out, saying, hey, what you're doing is wrong. I know it's been going on for a long time, but it's wrong. That's not what the Bible says. Kind of like the same way what Jesus did. And if you compare today's situation only, not people, please keep that in mind, it fits perfectly with Ecclesiastes 1:9. We're getting hated on. Friends and family are leaving us, not talking to us, calling us all sorts of names, crazy, heretic, whatever you want to say. The same thing that happened when Jesus walked the earth. If Jesus walked the earth today, I believe he would be denied even more so than he was back when he first walked the earth. Now, there's nothing new in time. If you pay attention to history, if you look closely at situations, you can really look back and see these different events taking place, and you can see them unfold in different times in history. 200-300 years later, maybe 1,000 years later, you can see events take place that happened once before, twice before. All the Bible's telling us is that we can easily, by paying attention, we can easily see that things happen the same, and we know how to deal with them. We can continue to walk the narrow path by paying attention to these things. We can do the right thing instead of falling for the great deception, which we are in the middle of right now. So if you're one of those people who's speaking out against the church, against the teachings, people are going to call you all sorts of names. But I want to be that one person that says, hang in there, hang tough, you're doing the right thing, you're walking the narrow path. Those who are meant to see the truth will see the truth. It may not be when you're talking to them. It may be later on. It may be right towards the end when their eyes are fully open and they walk away from the system of religion. It's not our job to force these people to do that. It's just our job to share the truth. And by sharing the truth, those that God has selected will understand what we're talking about. And they'll, in their time, or in God's timing actually, come to see the truth of what we're saying. So I just don't want people to get frustrated if you are out there speaking against the big norm of today, the majority. Just remember, people, in every judgment story in the Bible, there's always a remnant. A remnant is always kept. A remnant is always saved. It's never the majority. I mean, Jerusalem was judged. The majority of Jews were killed. Only a remnant was saved. In every doing the right thing, that right there should tell you you're probably not. And I'm not saying everybody a part of the religious system, the church system, is damned, because I know they're not. Jesus will call out his people in his time. Everybody wakes up in their own timing, in their own way, in their own fashion. So, I mean, I woke up when I did, others woke up when they did. So if you're starting to have doubts about certain things, that could be the start of you coming out of the system. And good, continue on the path you're going. But if you're trying to talk to somebody you love and care about, which, trust me, I know it's hard when you do it and they give you nothing, they ignore you, they think you're crazy, they stop talking to you, it hurts. But you need to keep the main focus in your mind that to love God above all other things, to keep him number one, because when this is all said and done, folks, our family here on earth, they may not be with us in heaven. So you got to keep that in mind. And I do have a reason or an idea as to how that all works. I may not be 100% correct, but it's an idea on how we can be happy in heaven, not having everybody that we know and love here on earth with us. Of course, sorry, I'm kind of getting out of step, but I don't want people to think that I don't believe heaven will be on earth, because it will. But when everything's said and done and we're walking with Jesus and the elect are there, if your family or friends are not part of the elect, well, that's okay. You love them the best you can while you're here on earth in this life, but you keep God first, because in the end you'll be walking with him. He is the one who gave us everything, gives us everything, and leads us in our path and journey. Thursday, I had a pretty close incident where I definitely could have lost my life, and it was just a split second of timing difference. And I'm not going to really go into details, but I could have got run over by a truck I was working on had I laid down at a second later time, when a piece of equipment ran in the back of my truck, pushing my truck 6 feet, and I would have been laying down right in front of the big tires. They would have ran right over me. Only one thing stopped that from happening, and that's God. And I know that for a fact, because had I not forgotten the one screwdriver I meant to get, I would have been under that truck already. So it's just kind of crazy when you think about these things. So that's just another reaffirmation of that God's watching. He's got our backs, and he walks with you. Trust me, he does. So the main point I'm trying to get across is, people will say, if you try to relate a situation of what you're doing, like right now, saying, hey, Jesus talked against the church, he talked against the church leaders, he spoke out against the system, and he was killed for it. He said to pick up his cross and to follow him. Pick up your cross and follow him. That means to follow him no matter what the persecution, no matter what happens. You pick your cross up and you do as Jesus did. He was true to the end. We need to remain true to the end, no matter what. Folks, death isn't the end of things. It's a time that you're not on this earth. You're sleeping. You'll be resurrected, and you're going to go with the goats, or you're going to go with the sheep. And I pray those listening to this video that you'll be going with the sheep, and will be a part of God's chosen. We'll be with them forever in heaven. And to think of, just imagining that, I can't. It's hard to imagine, because no idea what even to expect, to be honest. But knowing that could very well happen, it's very calming. It's very keeps me at ease anyway. I don't know if I'm an elect or not. I think there's a time frame in time that we'll be able to start to realize who the elect may be, with how events unfold and how people react to it. But until the end happens, I don't believe we really will know. But with that being said, I'm just trying to really point out the fact that, folks, if you're fighting against the system and you're being lambasted by everybody you know, and you're feeling lost and alone, remember, Jesus is always with you. He always will be with you. He is taking you down a path that he chose for you. Don't fight it. Walk it proudly. Walk it for him. And remember, if you need help trying to figure out how something's going to take place or how it's going to end, look back not Jesus. I'm nothing like Jesus at all. So much not like him, it's not even funny. But the situation that I'm dealing with, by losing family, by losing friends, by being in a way persecuted lightly, by being banned from things and talked bad about, and being pretty much forced to be alone in a sense. There's that aspect. I'm losing those that I love, but I'm also gaining others who see things how I do, that walk the narrow path, that see God's truth. So it's, in my eyes, it's not such a bad thing, because I know what the end result holds. And I pray that you keep that within you as well, because the fight's not easy. The Bible doesn't say it's going to be easy. It says to stand true to the end, to bear your cross like Jesus did, to follow him. And Jesus went through the worst type of torture that a man can go through. So he did that for us. I think it's the minimum that we can do for him. So I hope this helps some people. I really do. I just want people to realize that when I'm talking about things, I am in no way comparing myself to Jesus. I am just simply comparing the situation. So hope everybody has a great day. Enjoy the nice weather if you're having it. Love y'all. God bless. We'll talk to you soon.